something on Venus has shifted. At first, it hid quietly inside oceans of raw data, a faint alteration in the planet's radiance, so small it looked like a calibration error, the kind scientists usually ignore. But soon, every major observatory detected the same anomaly: a rise, a flare, a pulse of energy rising from a world that was supposed to be silent, fixed, unchanging. And within days, a single question echoed through laboratories and space agencies around the world. And perhaps even more unsettling, tonight we journey into the unfolding mystery of our sister planet, a transformation so sudden, so dramatic, that it threatens to rewrite everything we thought we understood about planetary evolution, geological time, and the long-term fate of worlds like our own. For decades, Venus has been considered the solar system's immutable inferno, a world locked in a permanent state of ruin. Its surface temperature, above 865 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to liquefy metal. Its atmosphere, 90 times denser than Earth's, crushing any probe within hours. Its sky, a poisonous ceiling of superheated sulfuric acid. Venus is a world where change cannot happen, where geology freezes in place, where evolution appears to have stopped billions of years ago. Or so the textbooks once said. Because Venus, in every scientific model, is supposed to be dead, a fossilized planet trapped in its own ancient catastrophe. And then, something shifted. And it didn't happen quietly, not over centuries, not even over decades. But suddenly, it began with a routine maneuver by NASA's Parker Solar Probe. As it swept past Venus, Parker detected something no one anticipated: a spike, a sharp rhythmic increase in electromagnetic emissions rising from Venus's surface. Not the clouds, not the ionosphere, but the ground. A deep, repeating pulse. Engineers searched for errors: a sensor glitch, solar interference, dust contamination? Nothing. The data was clean. Within days, Japan's Akatsuki spacecraft confirmed unusual heat signatures, vast regions of Venus glowing brighter in infrared, as if warming from below. Then, the Earth-based observatories weighed in. The European Southern Observatory reported something astonishing. Venus's southern hemisphere had changed its reflectivity. The planet was literally shining differently. For a world where nothing is supposed to change, this was unthinkable, and yet it was real. Then came the discovery that transformed suspicion into alarm. NASA remapped Venus using updated radar imaging and compared it to historical data from the Magellan mission. The images did not match. Entire landscapes now displayed smooth, young plains, large dome-like uplifts, and thousands of geometric formations unseen in any previous survey. Some of these structures clustered like honeycomb patterns. Others stretched in long grid-like bands, eerily systematic. It was as if the crust of Venus were reshaping itself in real time. Researchers called it geological reactivation, but others used a more haunting term: awakening. Because Venus was no longer behaving like a dormant world. Something beneath those clouds had come alive. Theories began flooding in, each one unsettling in its own way. For years, scientists suspected Venus might host dormant volcanoes, but this looked like ignition on a planetary scale. Infrared scans showed massive heat blooms, some dwarfing Earth's largest volcanic provinces. This suggests the mantle may be shifting, the crust could be fracturing, and Venus could be entering a violent new geological era. Yet volcanic activity alone can't explain the electromagnetic pulses. Something else is at work. Some researchers now believe Venus's core may have reached a critical threshold. If true, it could unleash enormous internal energy, enough to melt crust, alter the atmosphere, and produce exotic electromagnetic signatures. A once-in-a-billion-year event. But the question remains? Another possibility points to the Sun. A surge of solar radiation could have interacted with Venus's dense atmosphere setting off a runaway cascade of chemical or thermal reactions. If the Sun triggered this change, Earth may not be exempt. This is the most controversial theory, rarely discussed outside closed-door meetings. Because the grid-like formations, the symmetry, the reflective patterns, they don't look random, they look engineered. When researchers simulated the patterns, the conclusion was chilling. They resemble energy distribution networks, not natural, not geological, designed. This does not automatically mean alien, but it does point to intelligent structure or process, something operating beneath the clouds. Then Venus grew brighter, not metaphorically, but literally. Over just 60 days, Venus increased in brightness by nearly 17%, verified independently by 3 international observatories. Planets do not glow brighter without cause. Possible explanations included atmospheric thinning, high-altitude aerosols, thermal radiation bursts, or artificial illumination. But none matched the spectral data. Instead, researchers discovered something far more disturbing. The brightening was pulsing, at a perfect interval of 4.8 seconds. A heartbeat, a beacon, a signal, repeating without fail. Something on Venus was emitting light with mathematical precision. Something was communicating. If Venus is undergoing a planetary-scale transformation, the effects could ripple across the solar system. Here's what the data shows. Thermal emissions rising, atmospheric density shifting, surface structures evolving monthly. Planets do not change this fast, not without a driving force. Models now predict heavier sulfur storms, changes in superrotation shockwave-like pulses through the upper atmosphere. If these escalate, Venus could experience a full atmospheric collapse, releasing extraordinary amounts of energy into space. Earth wouldn't be directly harmed, but our satellites could. Our upper atmosphere could shift. Our climate models might need rewriting. An unstable climate, a runaway greenhouse effect. A planet crossing a tipping point into rapid transformation. If Venus changed from internal or solar triggers, Earth may face similar vulnerabilities. Then the most shocking observation arrived. A sudden burst of green spectral energy, unlike anything recorded on any rocky planet, erupted from Venus's equatorial region. Green emissions typically indicate oxygen excitation plasma discharge, artificial energy, or exotic chemistry. But Venus has no oxygen, no protective magnetosphere, no known natural mechanism for green plasma bursts. Yet the signal appeared, sharp, narrow, unmistakable. When overlaid onto older maps, the burst aligned perfectly with one of the new grid-like surface patterns, as if a structure had activated. For the first time, Earth had a glimpse, not of geology, but of technology, or something that behaves like it. A new hypothesis is being discussed quietly in the scientific community. What if Venus is not decaying? What if it is being rebuilt, engineered, restructured, transformed into something new? Evidence supporting this idea includes geometric formations, coordinated energy pulses, synchronized illumination, rapid landscape changes, targeted atmospheric clearing, spectral bursts mapped to surface grids. This is precisely what one might expect if a technological system, a dormant mechanism, or a self-replicating process were actively reshaping a planet. It doesn't have to be alien. It could be something ancient, something Venus has harbored for millions of years, something that has now awakened. This is the question haunting every major space agency. Why did Venus change now? 3 leading possibilities. A solar cycle peak may have delivered the exact amount of energy needed to activate dormant systems or layers. Venus might have reached a geological tipping point, forcing a planet-wide restructuring. A trigger from beyond, a passing object, a directed signal, or some unknown technological interaction. Something may have set Venus into motion. Venus is changing faster than any planet ever observed. If the correct trends continue, scientists predict a thinning atmosphere, emerging surface structures, stronger electromagnetic surges, increasing brightness, and clearer, more intentional signals directed outward. Whatever is happening, it's accelerating, and humanity is not prepared. The transformation unfolding on Venus is the most profound planetary mystery of the modern age. A world once considered silent is now pulsing with energy, reshaping its crust, brightening in the heavens, and sending signals across cosmic distances. Whatever is driving this change, geological, solar, artificial, or something beyond human imagination, the process has already begun, and the next revelations may arrive without warning, because for the first time in recorded history, Venus is speaking. The only question left is, will we understand what it's trying to say?